Okay, so we're going to try something kind of new. I'm going to try to cook with you guys. I set everything up. Let me show you. See? Everything's all pre-measured and set up. It's just eggs. It's not like it's a big deal, but I figured this would be kind of fun. I need a tripod. I actually have one, but I need to find the piece that attaches it to my camera, because next week, can y'all hear that? More construction on my street. It's been almost a year. Next week, I'm going to do a portobello a day. And so we're going to have a different portobello mushroom recipe a day. Because the one I gave you yesterday was kind of crap. Because it was like, oh my god, I'm at the end of my groceries. This is how I do it. We're going to have a shrimp one. We're going to have a stuffed one. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So I need to get this part worked out. So this is actually more like practice. Like cooking with you guys. Practice. So that's what we're going to do. I need a fork. I also, I guess, make sure my pants don't fall off because they keep kind of coming down, which is not a good thing since I have you in the kitchen with me. Already pre-measured. Look, biggest thing in my kitchen, the biggest deal is my scale. I measure everything, like literally everything. So I already have everything measured out. This is 3 ounces of egg whites, real egg whites. It's basically the whites of 3 medium eggs. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to mix everything in. 30 grams of flame roasted green salsa going into the eggs. Sometimes I stuff the inside and sometimes I flavor the outside. I flavor the actual eggs. And then this is a teaspoon worth of garlic. It looks like a whole lot, but I think it's just the way it's sitting because it's a teaspoon. And it's not the tiny, it's the chopped, not minced. And then you get a good stir on. So this is what I learned really recently in cooking, is the whole stirring the eggs. Like, I used to add, where's my pan? I used to add things in there for flavor. Like, I would add, for fluffiness. Because, like, when I learned how to cook eggs, my mom told me to add, milk, like a little splash of milk and stir it up, or later on I would add a little splash of water and stir it up. What I learned though is that you actually don't have to. It's about 10 calories worth of spray. You actually don't have to add anything if you really get a good aerated fluff to your egg whites. And I don't know if any of this is right. I'm just telling you what works for me, because I think I tell you guys that every time I show you anything. It's like, dude, not a culinary genius. I don't go to school for it. I just cook and share what works for me. I don't even know if I'm going to get you to see those bubbles. Can you see the bubbles? Mm-hmm. Get a lot of bubbles. A lot of bubbles helps. Pan is warming up, and pouring it in. Okay. Now we're going to do something else, because I'm going to show you what it looks like in the pan. So that's what it looks like in the pan. And of course I'm going to cover it so that we can cook it on both sides at once. Ah, how fun is this? So fun. I also have pre-measured 28 grams of fat-free mozzarella cheese. I don't know if I told you this story. I probably tell you this story every flipping time I use fat-free mozzarella cheese. But when I started Weight Watchers, we had to carpool. Okay, fine. So everybody's carpooling, Weight Watchers. What happened was they came and shut down the meeting, and I was brand new, and people were throwing a fit, and I guess I hadn't been there long enough to be really pissed about it. So I was just like, listen, guys, here's my address. Anybody who wants to come, here's my address, here's my phone number. We'll carpool because I'm going. And so there were these ladies that came, and I made some really great friends. I still consider them friends, right? Well, one week we would get together and drive together, and one of the things we would do was talk about the things we cooked over the week. Like on the drive there, it was like, oh, how'd you do? What did you discover? All those, kind of like a bonus mini meeting just for us. And there was this lady, Judy, who came, and she was like, one of the girls was like, oh, you said you were going to make your lasagna. How'd that go? I was like, oh my God. I used fat-free ricotta and fat-free some other cheese. And I was like, and fat-free mozzarella. And Judy goes, no, you mean low-fat mozzarella. And I was like, no, it was fat-free. And she was like, no, honey, there's no such thing as fat-free mozzarella. And I was like, but it was fat-free. And she was like, I think you're mistaken. I swear to God, like, I wanted to go nuts. It was like, dude, I cooked it. So at this point, we're going to flip it because it's cooked on both sides. Yeah, I'm like, I was totally pissed about that. Like, seriously? How can you argue with the person who did it? I don't even get it. Or why would you argue with me? Like, what do you get from that? Even if you think I'm wrong, what do you get from that? Oh, it just flipped right over because we had it cooked on both sides with the lid. And now we're going to sprinkle our cheese on. I only cheese half of it so that it's easier to fold and it doesn't squish everywhere. There's a slightly different texture and feel to the fat-free mozzarella, but when you're using it like this, it's definitely going to melt, and that is all that really matters. Once it gets good and melty, there's not that big of a difference. So, there you go. That was breakfast. I'll show it to you when I plate it up. Oh, wait, where's the button? There it is. So there's the omelet we just made together on our bright and shiny little breakfast plate. Yay! Tea and a heart cookie and Netflix on my iPad. Oh yeah. Lunch, stir-fried green beans with the last of the sausage from last night. So it's turkey sausage. Strawberries with organic sugar. 60 calories worth of snack right there. This is why he's not gone yet. Oh, and that's why he's gonna wind up being gone. Because he's so sweet when he wants to be. As soon as you lay down, he comes and gives you love, but then as soon as you get comfortable, he goes crazy. Salad with 70 calories worth of shrimp, some Thousand Island calorie-free dressing, and iceberg lettuce with salt and pepper. Sweet and salty mix. 210 calories. I don't usually use it, but I'm eating it. Okay, so I'm doing a Friday 5. I'm going to do pet peeves because that's what Martha did. So, Martha, the fat girl is crazy. I love her. And she did her Friday 5 as pet peeves. So I'm going to go ahead and do my pet peeves for Friday 5. Okay. Well, and I also want to say, she said one time, she said that one of her pet peeves is when people say "Jew you down." Do you know, I was probably like 18 years old when I found out that that was a racist or race-based statement. Because in my brain, I don't know why. Okay, I did. I grew up in a cult. Completely, like, not part of the world. And then I think that by the time I was part of the world, I had missed certain things. I don't know. But I thought it was J-U, like the word. I had no idea. It was based on Jewish people. I don't really get it or understand it or know why. But that it is. I know it is now, but I'm just saying. I thought it was J-U, like Jew, like a word by itself. And on the other flip side of that, my aunt calls her husband her juju bean. And I thought it was because he was Jewish. So, like, in my head, every time she said it for a decade, it was like J-E-W, J-E-W, juju bean. And then one day I said something like, I don't know, he's from Canada, and I said something about Jewish people in Canada, and she was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like, isn't he Jewish because he's from Canada? Yeah, because I'm brilliant. Anyway, so that's my J-U, Juju, J-E-W, J-E-W story. Bam. Anyway, so here we go. Pet peeves. You said dog off leash. My neighbor's dogs, when we first moved in, my neighbor has, way too much background. My mom is always like, I don't need the details, but here we go. The area I live in is the town that I grew up in, and it was completely wiped out by Hurricane Katrina. So, probably during the first year to 2 years after Hurricane Katrina, I would say maybe 10% of the people had come back. It was very, very spaced out. I was, for a while, like, the only person staying in a FEMA trailer, probably for 5 blocks, a 5-block radius, for a very long time. So, very stretched out. What has happened is because of that, people who were here first have gotten used to just letting their dogs go. Well, thank God and thankfully, we are coming back strong. The community is growing constantly. That's an awesome thing, right? Well, my neighbor has 2 giant black labs. And some people are like, oh, they're labs, don't worry about it. So the day that we moved in, it was probably like the second day we were here, the kids had sandwiches, and I was like bringing them out to the car. We were going somewhere, and these 2 giant dogs walk up, like run up, gallop up, and they are as tall as my children are, and the kids are like, oh, what do I do? And I'm like, give them your fucking sandwiches. I didn't say it like that. I was like, let go of your sandwiches, I'll make new ones. You know, and they drop their sandwiches, and the dogs are eating their sandwiches and all up in their faces. And then the neighbor walks up and is like, oh, they just love little girls. They just want to say hi. And it's like, that's not okay, even if that's the case. Okay. So then, like, there's giant dog shit all over our lawn. And it's like, we don't have a dog, and we're dealing with your dog shit because you're used to letting your dog go. Okay. Then we did have a dog for a little while. Some of you guys might know that. We had actually 2 dogs. And one day, one of them got out. Now, I understand it's my fault for my dog getting out. But it was not on purpose. It wasn't I'm letting you out to go potty on other people's lawns or not pay attention. It was like and he slipped through my hands and took off. He was a Jack Russell. And at the time, like, the neighbor just opened his doors and let them out, and they came after him viciously. Like, they had a purpose, and it was to rip that dog apart. And he came, like, running back into my kitchen, but it was like, oh my God, what if I would have been walking my dog, and your dogs would have come up like that? That's not even okay. Okay. Well, he still does it. Like, he does it a lot less now, but he still does it. Just lets the dogs go, or puts them in his pickup truck, and then, like, will take them places, and on the way back, he just lets them go. Just the other freaking day, we're outside, and we're hanging out, and we're having a good old time, and the kids are playing, and one of them is using, like, sticks that the banana had cut out of our tree to make a nest, and everything's fine, and then this dog comes galloping up, and both kids are frozen, because this dog is gigantic, and it's like, it's not particularly friendly. It's not wagging its tail and being happy, but it's not growling and crazy. It's just not a comfortable situation. And then it pees on our mailbox, on our garden, It almost peed on her nest. I'm like screaming at it, and the whole time this is this makes it worse. He's going, boy, 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 get back here, boy, bad dog, boy. Not once has he ever left his property to come get his dog. He stands there at his front door and calls it, boy, 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 bad dog, boy, boy, boy. And it's like, are you serious? Your dog's not fucking listening. Come get him and stop letting him out. That is one of my pet peeves. It really drives me nuts. I have, okay, these kind of go together, but not really. It's at the gym. 2 at the gym. 1 is when people are there and they're talking with their friends so loud I can hear them through my earphones. Generally speaking, my earphones are in and they're up as loud as they can be. I think I have skull candy earphones. They're like the sound canceling ones, so I should not be able to hear you. So when they're like, oh my god, and then he didn't call me, and I was like, oh my god, you didn't call me, and it's like, oh my god, that's so wrong, I can't believe he didn't call you. It drives me bananas. Like, it really gets into my head. And it's generally women, it's girls, it's not even women, it's girls. I tend to find a correlation. Wait, I'll go there in a second. But anyway, it's generally girls, and they talk about insane things like boys and clothes and all. And I understand, I have conversations about boys or girls and clothes and all, and that's fine. But it's like something about it, like, I don't know. I'm constantly reminded of my friend telling me one time early on when I first started walking with her, like, if you can talk this much, then you're not working out enough. And that's what I want to be like, hey, you're obviously not working out enough, hit it. And not that, I mean, I like having a conversation. I just feel like it's like so loud. And what I'll notice is that this person next to me will be like fucking hollering to the point where I can hear them through my earphones. And if I glance over, it's generally because they have an earphone, at least one, in while they're having a conversation. Take the earphone out of your ear so you can hear and you don't think you need to yell. See how that works? I'm just saying. And then the other thing is, especially in the beginning of the year when it's really busy and around like the end of the normal work, like business hours, because that's generally like when the gym, is the most busy. If you're not working out, move on. Because I will see girls, like, we have 2 like really crazy high-tech elliptical machines, and we have 5 upstairs treadmills. And I say this because upstairs is a loft at my gym. It's a nice big open loft. And I like those treadmills because you run facing this open space and all this air. The other treadmills are located downstairs and you run facing the wall. So it's like literally from here to there, you know, and that makes me feel confined. I like to run open and everything else. Okay. Girls will come in a group, work out together, or I guess, and then, like, let's say there's 3 of them, 2 of them will quit, but then stay on the machines next to their friends. So it's like, now you have one person jogging, and then 2 girls on each side of her just talking and standing there. And it's like, get off the fucking machine. You could stand in front of her and talk to her. You could stand next to her machine. You don't have to be on another machine. And they do the same thing, I watch this, one of them is the same girl all the time, but I've seen several people do it. Like, they're on the elliptical, reading a magazine, and then, I guess they're done working out, but not with the magazine, so they'll stand on the elliptical and flip through the magazine for another 20 minutes, and it's like, get off the fucking elliptical. You can read that in the locker room, on the bench, anywhere. Like, hello. And wipe down the machines. Gross. gross, girls. Just because you're a chick doesn't mean you don't get sweaty and nasty. Wipe down the machine. But anyway, what I was going to say was there's kind of a correlation between those girls, the ones that like talk with the earphone in really loud, and the ones that just hang out on the machines when they're done, are generally the ones who are not dressed. And when I say are not dressed, I'm saying like, I don't know. I understand that it's easier to work out in clothes that fit you. And I know that some people work out, like my Zumba instructor will often start a class wearing her outfit and then take off her shirt so she's just like in a sports bra. And that's fine if you're hot and sweaty or whatever. But like these girls come with one, like they got up and got dressed to go to the gym. Their hair is done. Their makeup is done. They are wearing like a sports bra or a tiny, tiny, tiny top and like pants so tight there's no underwear. And also it's like borderline like showing you the top of the pubic area. You can see like this much of the hip bones, like it's like they're kind of wearing almost nothing. And they're there for the boys, which is fine. That's a great place to meet guys. There's lots of them. They're beefy. A lot of them are hot. So meet your guys. That's great. But you know what's funny? Like what's really, really funny about that is that those girls go dressed like that, obviously looking to attract attention. And what I have noticed, because I like to be on the loft, so I watch all this, what I have noticed is that the guys who they would ideally like to attract, when they're in the gym, are not noticing the girls. They're in the gym for a reason, and that is to work the fuck out. They're not looking at you, or maybe they'll glance at you, but they're not thinking about you while they're busting fucking ass. If anything, they're thinking about the dude next to them who has bigger biceps and they're trying to get there. Or, you know, they're thinking about the dude next to them who has small biceps and they're excited about it. Like, it's the funniest thing how girls go obviously seeking attention and approval, and the guys are there, like, beefing up on each other. It's so crazy. But anyway, that's the correlation I was going to say, is because, like, generally, the girls who are, like, chatting it up and not taking it too serious are already, like, really fucking hot and tight and don't need to be there, and they're wearing next to nothing. That drives me crazy. Both of those items drive me crazy. Actually, yeah. Smacking drives me out of my fucking, like, the sound of people eating, out of my mind. Crazy. It makes me insane. It's disgusting. I can't take it. And it's not just people. I can't stand when the animals do it either. Like, oh my God. Like, one of our Siamese, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but cats bite their nails off. And he will sit there and like, and it's like, get your fucking toe out your fucking mouth or go sit someplace else because it's disgusting. So there. Leaving the door open, the banana comes home and she's got this thing where she opens the door and then stands there in the doorway as she like puts down her tools and like moves things around, and it's like, come the fuck inside. Mosquitoes are coming with you, the cats are trying to get out, come the fuck inside, and then close the goddamn door and then do whatever you have to do. Or do it and then open the door and walk through it. Do not leave the fucking door open. It drives me out of my mind. I don't know how many that was. I think that was 4, because if you count the gyms together. So here's my last one, and this is probably my biggest one. And it is, whose kid is whose? People ask me that all the time. Like, I will have my kids with me, and in front of them, people will go, oh, whose kid is whose? Here you go. If you don't know the answer to that question, then chances are you don't know me well enough to ask me that. Because it's really ugly. It's really rude. And if you didn't know that I was with, I don't know. It's like, it's just a question that's like, it drives me kind of out of my mind because I feel like it's so rude. It undermines my family. I mean, biologically speaking, one child is mine and the other is the bananas. This is true. It doesn't take a real genius to figure it out. You can tell by looking at them. If you know that one is mine, you could probably pick which one. However, it is so rude because it calls for me to be like, oh, right in front of the kids, she's mine, she's not. And that's not right because they're both mine. I have, in case it's anybody's business, been involved with the bananas child, my youngest daughter, since she was around a year old. She's 8 now. So her whole life she's had me. And that's a long time to raise a kid. That's my baby girl. The end. It makes me bananas. You know, the oldest, who is biologically mine, was 3 when the banana and I came together. She's going to be 10 this year. It's a very long time. That is not just like, oh, whose kid is whose, and it makes me crazy. And to take that a step further, a lady was like, this is a lady I worked with, she was like, oh, whose kid is whose? And I said, they're both ours. And she's like, yeah, but whose kid is whose? And I was like, they're both ours. She kept saying it, and I kept saying it, and it was like, are you fucking serious? Because at this point, even if you thought it was okay to ask that question, it's not. And I have a friend who was like, I think there's a girl at work who is a lesbian, and I can't figure out if the baby's hers or if the baby was her girlfriend's. And I was like, don't ask her that. If she brings that child in to your office and she introduces it as her child, her son, and she has not volunteered, this is my girlfriend's son or anything, or this is my stepson, if she says this is my son, if you don't know her well enough to ask to know if she gave birth to that child, then you don't know her well enough to ask that question. It's just rude. Besides, what the fuck does it matter? If she says that's her kid, it's her kid. Whether or not that's biologically, paper, or whatever the fuck, that's obviously something she identifies as family. Leave her alone. Yeah. Okay. There you go.